What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an all-new Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 with our Soviet Union World Conquest. We're on the 24th of January, 1947, and this war is pretty much over. Now that we've taken over the island of Bermuda, we are making this into our floating fortress. We're improving the anti-air, we're improving the radar, the air bases, and the infrastructure. So one of our primary goals, I've never actually used rockets. So I am going to be building up a rocket site. I think we can build up to level 2 rockets, and sadly I just don't have the capacity inside Bermuda, at least not yet. So let's go ahead and unpause this game, and from what I think we can do, if we look at our engineering, I never actually use these. I always go up to rocket engines and I stop. But if I produce some rockets, I mean we have a range of 500, and then level 2 rockets have a range of 640. Now, you would think level 3 rockets would have 800, but they actually have 11,000, which is really ridiculous. So that means I could use rockets and strike pretty much anywhere in the world. I could also go ahead and start pumping out some nuclear and atomic research, but it takes such a long time to produce, I'm not even sure that I should do that. I also feel like they're not really that effective. Don't get me wrong, they destroy all of the infrastructure in an area, so it would be very, very easy to invade. You know what, I guess I could do that for some of these smaller islands, like, this place. I mean, imagine nuking them and then going straight in with tanks. I don't think it would be much of an issue. We're having some small and minor naval combats. Surprisingly enough, the U.S. has a very powerful... what's the word I'm looking for? A very powerful navy, so even though we're sinking ships and we can produce a lot, I don't know if this is necessarily the best place to be. We are losing quite a bit of heavy cruisers as well. But if we could somehow get a lot better radar, so we have level 1 radar, if we can get level 2 radar, things would be significantly better, and then level 6 radar would give me access to pretty much everything. Military police level 2 have been unlocked. Let's start working on those. Better rockets. 116 days. And they're going to be 54 production costs, which is actually kind of a lot. I'm not sure if that's really worth it. I'm sure they'll do a lot more damage. In fact, I guess I could verify that. They do roughly 450 strategic bombing damage, whereas our strategic bombers do roughly 60. So the rockets are incredibly powerful. They have a lot of range. I'll definitely put those to good use if I can. I just don't know where to produce them. But I'm guessing if I build the rocket site, I could then probably build rockets. I see they tried to do an invasion that did not work. Let's go ahead and pump out more strategic bombers. We could put up to 800, so let's do that. As far as I know, we aren't lacking supplies, and all of our strategic bombings should be doing quite well. The only issue, though, is I would like to see how much damage I'm doing. Friendly planes disrupted, 20%, wow. So that means I'm eventually going to have to throw in some actual fighters. Okay, do I have any excess? I have 3.5 thousand strategic bombers. All of our fighters are being destroyed, but don't get me wrong, we have a lot of jet fighters. I just wish they would, cycle in for themselves. Looks like we're being invaded. Can I do anything with my modern tanks? Yes, I can. Let's go ahead and produce those. And let's produce another 12. Whoops. I guess we could do this from now on. What did I just do? I have no idea what I just did. I produced my 1 unit of tanks. So now you need to go to this red group, and in fact we lost another one because we instead of actually walking across Siberia, we have decided to take the long route, and I guess that's fine. So we now need another modern tank division. And in fact, I think this is going to be our last modern tank division. So 1 and 1. And now we've produced 24 modern tanks. Whoop, oh my goodness, my mouse is locked in. So now that we've produced 24 units of modern tanks, let's put them together in a group, and you are going to be my defense of the Atlantic. And taking back Rotterdam and a bunch of other cities. Rotterdam. Man, I wish my mouse would stop getting locked in. I know I complain about this every single episode. I just don't know how to fix it. I mean, it doesn't really happen all the time, and I could fix it within just a few seconds, but it is an issue. Our Bermuda rocket site is being improved. Our radar station is getting more powerful. All of the infrastructure is getting improved as well. And in fact, I'm wondering why we've stopped doing our invasion. Can we push on through a little bit farther? I think we can. So let's go ahead and activate Gorbachev. I see that we are lacking supplies, so we're going to go in anyway. In fact, we're lacking quite a bit of supplies, but let's go ahead and improve that as much as we can. And while I'm here, might as well keep improving the infrastructure of some of these areas. I don't really care too much. Okay, is there anything else we can do? Our tanks are definitely doing quite a bit of damage. They're holding their own. But sadly, this naval invasion is definitely being a little bit of an issue. Are we actually running out of modern tanks yet? Yes, we have minus 3.1 thousand. So I think for the time being, this is going to be my last actual production of modern tanks. Can I deploy you yet? Once you get to 20%, I'll go ahead and deploy you. And all we need to do, if I could somehow take one of these tanks and push there, you go there, and you go there as well. I don't know if we're going to be successful, but then we could cut off all of these units. You're going to go through. Is it going to be successful? I don't know, by any means. Well, we could go ahead and march on this direction and start closing up some of these borders. And it looks like we're definitely pushing it into more. And Liege, we've been pushed back. Okay, so let's go ahead and look around the map. We never actually took that city back. We have 3 units that need to be repaired, and our military bases and naval bases are getting obviously built, so it's going to take some time. We now have the Kirov class, which is the heavy cruiser, and I think we're going to get our final heavy cruiser, which is now the 1940 variant. If we go any farther, it's going to require chromium, and I don't want to do that. So for the time being, this is what we will produce. So now all of those heavy cruisers can be switched on over. And it probably would have been the wisest thing to not waste all of this production, but I guess that's fine. And so far, so good. Another heavy cruiser that needs to be changed. I'm planning on using all of my naval experience for our 3rd variant of the heavy cruiser, so I think that's going to be our best option. Did we ever take this island? No divisions. Well, that sucks. Let's go ahead and put you on and go. Insufficient naval superiority. I can't believe that's still a thing. Let's go ahead and combine all of these forces. We are so these carriers are damaged. But what we're going to do is naval superiority, and here in the Central Atlantic. Do I have any extra vessels? It looks like I do. I'm now going to move you all on up to Ostlandet. And we're running out of carriers, too, because we're not really producing any. And the reason why we weren't producing any is because we were lacking aircraft, which I guess I could go ahead and build more of. So I need more carrier naval bombers, so I'm going to build 5, and I guess I'm going to build 4 additional carrier fighters. And if we could somehow find the courage to get more military factories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to only move up about 10. And obviously my number 1 priority is still to get those radar dishes, the infrastructure, and pretty much everything inside Bermuda. In fact, I have so many extra civilian factories, I could move up a few extra. Okay, how big is our... We can have up to 1,800 planes, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's put in another 200 strategic bombers. I would ooh. Cannot create an empty air wing. Well, that's because we just made this bigger. So now, our jet fighters don't really have a lot of range. I don't even know if they're going to be able to make it over. Wow, the jet fighters literally have no range, so we're going to actually disband this air wing. And we're going to be putting on another unit of strategic bombers, about 1,000. And much like before, just going to the East Coast and bombing anything and everything. And it says we have the capacity up to 1,800. Eventually, we're going to have 2,000. Did we ever run out of planes? Not yet. Seeing as we have such an excess, I don't think it's going to matter. But it would be nice if I had some sort of island where I could start pumping out more and more units. So what I want to do is I want to begin my naval invasion of Japan. And then I feel like what I'm going to do is once I invade Japan and I'm successful, I don't think Japan's going to be nearly as hard as the UK was. Huh. This doesn't look like a naval invasion. But it is. Unit cannot enter province. I don't know. So once that activates, I'm going to use all 48 units, and I'm going to do a naval invasion, probably from Bermuda to South Florida. And just to be safe, I could probably go ahead and try to take over the Bahamas. So let's go ahead and activate you. It says we lack insufficient intelligence, which is understandable. I wish I had better carriers and more naval units. Let's go ahead and improve our strategic bombing by 30%. I also want to go ahead and consolidate my entire navy into one area. Auslanded, Auslanded. I feel like I'm not even producing that many extra units. Crimea, when this needs to go to Auslandit. And just because, I'm going to build up another carrier. And I'm curious if the default air wing is the same. Yes, it is. If I had dockyards, I certainly would do that. And now that we have our rocket site inside Bermuda, can we build rockets? I don't even know. Rocket interceptor. My only question is, I don't know how to build rockets. If I click the province, I'm looking at construction, I'm looking at production. You would think it would be an aircraft, and I see I have these rocket interceptors, but I don't know what they do. They obviously intercept rockets, at least that's what I think. But how do I build them? I guess I'm gonna have to Google it. I'm sure I'm getting people screaming in the comments of how you build them, but sadly, you know, it's not live. Okay, so once I begin my invasion of the Bahamas, I'm probably going to have two separate groups, you know, begin our invasion of South Florida. And then once we actually have good access, I'm going to move all of our modern tanks up, and then we should be good to go. Speaking of deficits, I am missing 1.9 thousand modern tanks, which is only going to be about 20 days. And because I've really stopped producing a lot of infantry equipment, I mean, I still got a lot, 980,000, but I definitely have a lot more than I need. And the same thing with support equipment, so I could probably go ahead and disband 2 of those. So let's go ahead and stop producing let's stop producing 1 unit of support equipment. In fact, we could probably just stop producing support equipment altogether, or in fact, moving it down to 5. Wow, I have way too many. So all we need is 1 line of support equipment. All of these can get destroyed. Now we could stop producing as many weapons. I think 2 units will be enough. And what I'm gonna need are more modern tanks and more mechanized. I'm running out of chromium now, so I guess from now on it's going to be just mechanized. I'm going to let those roll on through, get the production efficiency up. We're down 1.9 thousand mechanized, which is a little sad. And I am going to need some better dockyards. Let's go ahead and pump out more mechanized equipment, I guess, only because they are very, very cheap and they don't cost much at all. But I would like to get some dockyards, start pumping out some better naval units, or at least more naval units. I don't know about better. Man, I can't wait until this war is over. Part of me wants to focus on like economic development and growth and expansion, but look at all of these naval battles where nobody was victorious at all. So unread 123 unread naval convoy battles, and normally it's like 70, but it looks like we only have 10. So we did lose 2 fights inside the African coast, which I'm guessing is around here. So the African coast in the Sargasso Sea is where we were losing. And I need more units, and I don't know the best way to go about this. So let's go ahead and add all of these light cruisers. If I had a carrier, I would definitely be very, very happy. But we're not really producing any carriers. We were. No, still not. So let's pump out 1 more carrier, and what I'm going to do is put you in here as well, in Oslandit. And just because, you know what, the reason why we stopped is we didn't have chromium. That's what it was. I think we'll be fine. Alright, we are being naval invaded. Nothing that's really going to happen is going to be detrimental. I would like some tanks here, but it looks like our tanks are still pushing. Belgium has capitulated once again. All of these units are gaining experience, which is nice to see. And it looks like our field marshal is now level 2. Not nearly as garbage as he used to be. Let's pump out another mechanized. We are gaining so many military factories, it's a little ridiculous. But I need dockyards. That's going to be my next goal. Alright, all of our tanks are doing a phenomenal job. How long until our invasion of Japan? It looks like we're already beginning. So all I need to do is have 1 successful tank land and try to then go ahead and just secure a perimeter, secure a port. So it looks like we got 44 tanks that have landed. So now all we got to do is this, put you on aggressively expand. I don't know why Georgie's, oh, never mind. It is the same general, same field marshal. Let's take half of you though and move you into Hiroshima. Armored Spearhead has been unlocked, so now we have more breakthrough, more health. Let's go ahead and get even more health and better recovery speed. I don't think Japan is really ready for this invasion, seeing as we're pretty much nothing but tanks. And yes, we are losing a lot of manpower, but I am fine with that. Improved rocket engines have been unlocked. We are going to unlock the 3rd level of advanced rockets, 600 strategic bombing. I just don't know how to build these. Where do we build guided missiles? I literally have no idea. So I could produce outdated equipment. I did not know that. So then I guess I never really needed heavy cruisers. I could have just built level 3 light cruisers. Alright, so one thing I'm going to do is in the break, I'm going to find out where to build guided missiles, because I just don't know. And I'm going to be annoyed if these are them. So these are my interceptors. And we now have rank 3 mechanized. And you know what? Might as well unlock better night vision. I don't really know what else to get. And I guess I'm going to also end this episode. So thank you all for joining me. Hope you all have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure. Wow, London has been recaptured. That needs to be fixed.